And obviously, you have kickstarted the whole conversation already.
Nah, it's not really a kickstart. It's just a bit like a touch of everything, you know.
Yeah, now, but thank you though so much for the introduction though. But with that being said, obviously, we have to jump straight into match week 33. Um, yeah, match week 33, and we'll start with the first game of the match week. And I'm going to start with this one just because we touched on it a little bit. But Man City 5, Luton 1. It's like I was hearing somewhere. It's like they said City play in halves. They don't play the full game. They play in halves. And I'm like, I had to think about it for a minute, and I'm like, that's actually true. Like in the first half, every first half of every game is like they either come out and they play good football, or they come out really bland. And then the second half, they come out and play really bland, or they come out and play really good football, and then they just blow you out. So when you think of City and this
Pause.
result, what?
Pause.
Okay.
Okay.
When you think about this result, obviously there was a lot of rotation. Rodri didn't even play this game too, and there's a stat where Rodri has not lost a game when he has started, right? So there was a lot of rotations. Pep made some changes, obviously looking at the game with Madrid on Wednesday in mind. Now it's advantage City, right? Obviously, it's now City's game, City's on to lose. What do you think happens from here? Realistically, what happens from here for City?
Realistically, we know that they're used to this type of pressure. They're used to this type of fixtures. Um, I feel they have to go the way. But the only depending factor is how they play against Spurs because at the end of the day, it is CE. But on the flip side of it, you cannot keep playing the game each fixture in halves. Yes, they played the last two fixtures in halves or last how many against Palace and against Luton. These are small teams that can, if you're not taking like if you don't have quality players, they would damage you. But because it's CE, see, even if they come out playing the worst football I've ever seen, they will still not concede or highest concede one or two. But you cannot do this against a team that has good finishers, Him Son, so on and so forth. Richarlison, if he's fit, James Madison. Cannot do this against a team that has good finishers. So Pep will need his team to be 100% that day from start to finish.
Definitely, and my bad, they don't play Forest after the FA Cup semi-final. They play Brighton away from home, so that might. I mean, on paper, you expect them to beat Brighton because Brighton haven't looked that good, but like it can still be tricky. It's Brighton. You can't really take them for granted.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't. This is he at the Amex?
At the Amex, yes sir.
You cannot take them for granted. But we all know C is also very good at away games, just as much as he's good at home games. So we we know what to expect from Manchester City. Even if they do a whole lot of rotations, they still have the quality that needs to win a game. It's like their team is just steps ahead of the average Premier League team, and that's what Pep is trying to build, and he succeeded in building it. And City, they're used to this type of pressure, having the Champions League on their backs, having the FA or whatever other domestic league cups on their backs, and they'll still perform in the Premier League. They're used to this over the years, over the course of 5 years. So,
Yeah,
in terms of tired legs, I don't expect it. But in terms of them playing this game in halves that we have seen, they need to change that, or they will be punished for it.
yeah, and I was going to say something. I think this is a pivotal week for City, obviously, because they they play Madrid Wednesday. Okay, now they're top of the table, right? Check. They play Madrid Wednesday. Get the job done. That's a confidence builder. They go to Chelsea. I'll say it might be a tricky fixture, but they go to Chelsea. Obviously, on the back of Madrid, they beat Chelsea at. Sorry, they don't go to Chelsea. They play Chelsea at Wembley, right? They beat Chelsea. Then they go to Brighton, and then they beat Brighton. The week is the season is pretty much done for them. Like think
Yeah,
about it.
all the way.
Like literally, that's how pivotal this week is. But then flip side of it, okay, they won, Saturday. They go to Madrid, comes and beats them at home, right? And then they go to Wembley and they lose to Chelsea in a very crazy fashion. Like I'm talking Liverpool-esque fashion, where like they had all the chances and then they just couldn't score, and then Chelsea just had two and they scored two. Do you think that would change anything for them?
In a fantasy world, yes. But realistically, we know C. So no. But in the fantasy world, I 100% agree with you. That would change a whole lot of things. And I think the upset may pay, like, if they have upsets against Real Madrid, we all know City, they don't go back to back upsets. It happened once, I think, last season when they lost 3 games in a row. Or was it this season? They
It
lost
was
two
this
games in a
season.
row.
Lost two, or
I think that was
lost.
about it.
Yeah.
That didn't happen in a long time. But the City that we're seeing now is not the same unbeatable City that we've been seeing previous seasons. So if they do have an upset in Etihad during the Champions League, I feel that would affect the title race as well. Because who wouldn't like to do a back-to-back treble?
Mm.
Pretty sure Jack Grealish would. He stepped up his game. I'm pretty sure he would. So that's what I feel. That's exactly what I feel. But we know this from City last season as well. Sorry, the 2 seasons ago, they had an upset in the Champions League, and they still won the Premier League comfortably.
Yeah.
So, what do we expect from City? Is the question,
I
and
mean,
I don't really think we have an answer. I don't
I
really
guess the only thing we can say is excellence, because that's just what they have given us throughout. Like,
100%, hundred
so
percent. But it's not the same excellence we've been seeing previous years. Because this year they look like a team that can drop points. We've seen the lives of Chelsea take points from them home and away, which is a bit shocking. But it's Chelsea though. Chelsea this season have been big six upsets. So that's what I can say.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Moving on to the next. This weekend was just full of shocks. Moving on to the first shocker: Liverpool nil, Crystal Palace won. If I remember correctly, the stats of that game, and I can put it up just to be sure. Liverpool had 20 plus shots and like six. Actually, no, they had 21 shots and just six on target. Right. Eberechi Eze scored in the 14th minute, and Liverpool could not answer. How scary is that when you look at the overall picture? When you look at from like um I want to go back to the game against United, right? Not in the league, but in the FA Cup. Look at the game against United in the FA Cup, and then they come back and obviously they win, and then they play United, and then they draw that game, right? Missed a lot of chances. Then come and play Atlanta, lose that game, miss a lot of chances too at Anfield, and then you come to Crystal Palace too at Anfield, and you have all these chances but no scoring. What? How scary is that? How scared should Liverpool be?
It comes down to basic training about finishing. Do they create the chances? We know Liverpool have created probably the most chances in this season. Do they finish the chances? We spoke about this against United. The game should have been done in the first half. But because of their lack of finishing, they drew that match. They gave up 2 extra points. And now if it affected them against Atlanta, and now we're seeing it against Crystal Palace. So it's either they get back to the training ground and work on their finishing, or I'm sorry, you may settle for the third place spot. That is the only way I can put this.
But like just on the sidebar, do you think they can come back against Atlanta? I know we talked about
100%.
this like last week, but like
100%.
realistically, no, realistically, 3-0 away from home.
100%. 100%. We know the quality in that side. We all know the quality in that side. 100%. I feel they can come back. And put in your mind, there is no away goals anymore. So if they go
That's
there
fair.
and they are winning 3-0, it's a whole different game. Which do we expect it from Liverpool? No. Is it possible? Yes. Because when you watch that match, you could literally see the skill gap between the two sides. Yes, one was clinical, but another one could have still sealed the game. So
Yeah.
and back-to-back losses at Anfield is not really a good shout on Liverpool because Anfield is the no-go area, but it's not looking like that anymore. It's looking at the 3 points area now.
Uh, um, well, obviously, let's give Palace some love. I mean, even though I doubt any of their fans will watch, but let's give Palace some love. To come to Anfield, get three complete points. That's crazy.
Nah, the
And
only reason you're giving Palace some love is because it kind of favors you. But carry on.
I can't. No, if we had won, yeah, yeah, it favored me, but we didn't win, so it kind of doesn't do nothing to me. You just have to give them love. Like I was watching the game and I was like, these guys are defending with their lives, like they're defending and they no concentration lost, and it looks like this is like their kind of full team, and this is the system they are playing. And I don't want to go into details for Palace, but like kind of looks like this is where they are headed: 3-4-3 with Eze, Olise, and then Meteta up front, and then the wing backs. Um, this guy played locked up Salah. What's his name? Jefferson Lama. He's a midfielder, but then they put him to play wing back, and he locked up Salah. Then I'm like, okay, but so I just have to show some love to Palace. You can't take it for granted. Obviously, they might probably not do this again anytime soon, but like just have to show them love. You know, yeah. So
100%.
credit to Palace. Scary times for Liverpool. Um, I mean, at a point, you assume that the whole emotional adrenaline that was kind of pushing them kind of wear off at a point, but we didn't expect it to be this. I don't try to say bad. It's this surprising, if that makes sense.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Moving on to the last and final title contender. I don't know if this is a title race anymore, but to give them title contenders, Arsenal nil, Aston Villa 2. Oh my god.
What's wrong?
Oh my god.
What's wrong?
That game was crazy.
I
You
think
know what? Arsenal.
this game was the exact definition of playing in two halves.
That's literally what I was about to say. Like Arsenal came out in first half and balled the lights out, but could not score.
We came out in the
Like you,
first half looking like a team that just faced Bayern. Because when you face Bayern, you're a different team. You cannot be your normal self. They looked like that in the first half, but they couldn't finish.
exactly.
And now that's where clinical
Oh.
parts of the team play aspects. They
And
couldn't
then and
finish.
then and then second half, I,
And
I
then
have no
second half,
ex-
I believe
I have
I
no
called
explanation to what happened.
in the previous episode, I believe I said these two names. Leon Bailey and Ollie Watkins. I said those two names.
Second half, I don't know what happened. Like I can't tell you what happened. Like
All I can
I
say
don't,
about that second half is justice for Zinchenko. There's too much hate on Zinchenko right now. I had
I can't.
so many Arsenal fans on TikTok saying Zinchenko's line, and on that clip he was on the same line with Gabriel, but they said Zinchenko's line.
No, you
Zinchenko
know what?
took the
You
ball
can't
out of
blame him.
play. Come on, that is every single Arsenal player stopped.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They all stopped, and Zinchenko, he not the way he kicked the ball out of play, he kicked it so aggressively, meaning he did not intend to do it. Do you get me? But it's football, it's sportsmanship. You have to do it regardless. And there's
Yeah,
hate on him for what? I don't agree with it. I honestly don't agree with it.
and it was just. Do you know the only thing I can say to that second half, right? Is that I can't. Honestly, I can't. Let me give you something. Ateta made a big mistake. He made a very terrible mistake. He started Havertz in the wrong position, right? In the first half, it worked out because Villa couldn't figure out Havertz was making the run deep, making those deep runs and doing the press and stuff. The second half, John McGinn locked that place up. Like he dropped back to play the five, so Havertz could not run in.
Best DM in the
Havertz
Premier League.
Havertz could not run in, and then with the subs, Ateta subs, he subbed off Ben White. I'm looking at, I'm like, the only explanation I can think of is that okay, he's looking towards Wednesday. He knows that this game is done. He's looking towards Wednesday. He's like, these guys can at least, worst case, they can come out with a draw. So he's looking towards Wednesday and he subs out Ben White, right? And then he leaves Jorginho. He brings on Jorginho late, and I'm like, oh my god. So I don't say I blame Mateta, right? But like you could see those mistakes there. But then as a collective, you can't even blame him because in the first half they played so well. But then in the second half, is that his fault? Like what I'm not doing mess, I'm speechless. Like I was watching that game and I was speechless. And I was heartbroken, obviously, but like I was speechless.
Arsenal, I told you this times without number. Your players have quality, but they don't have the ability to handle that title race pressure. If you guys played, if you guys swapped fixture with Liverpool, I feel like there would have been a whole different result. If you guys played first, the pressure would have been off your players' backs. But now Liverpool lost, and you guys are thinking, oh, we go first on the table again if we win. So now the mentality is if we win, if we win, if we win, not let's get over this fixture and focus on the next one. And that messes up the footballer.
That's
But like I
that's
said,
the
Arsenal,
definitely that's the only thing I can think of that probably is the reason for this result. That they knew Liverpool lost and they were like, okay, if we win this, they didn't really play like we need to win this. They were like, if we win this, you know, get different. It's a big difference.
100%
Can
big
we
difference.
can we not do that here? We're not doing it.
Oh, sorry.
Um, but no, credit to Villa. Emery knew what to do to get his players going, made the right substitutions, found where to attack, and yeah, Villa at the up
I
and up.
think I've seen the start this season. I say now Emery is the biggest Arsenal upset this season. He's taken 6 points from you guys and two clean sheets.
That's what I'm saying. He's the only team that's done the double of ours this season. Considering we've only lost 5 games this season, but like he's the only one that's done the double of ours. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, when you look at his time at Arsenal, it's just one of those wrong place, right place, wrong time type of thing where it could have been the right place for him, but it was just the wrong time they brought him in. Like he's coming and nothing is settled. Players are yeah, I can't go too deep into it, but yeah, it looks like they have secured that top that fourth position more or less. With obviously with the next result we're going to talk about, it looks like it's pretty much done and dusted, isn't it?
Pretty much. Good
Yeah,
good season for Liverpool. Once again I'll say Sir Alex Ferguson's prediction was correct. And that's what you call a I think Emery deserves manager of the season.
I saw that post today though, where like after that 5-1 trashing, they asked Ferguson who played better. He was like Villa. I'm like, okay, I guess we're all
He's
short
seen
sighted
something
in
that
it.
we on the fan base could not see. Because he
Yeah,
saw them in preseason and he said his prediction before the season started. Go look at the video. He said top four. They asked him top four who they think is going to be the most unlikely team that's going to be there. And he said Villa. And this is what we are seeing.
that's crazy though, isn't it? That's crazy.
I think we need Ferguson back in United, don't you think? Just for us to win the Premier League the Champions League next season.
Yeah, I mean if you make it right.
If
If there's many ifs now, because as it stands, right, that fifth spot that would have been Champions League spots is kind of going towards, is it Germany, between Germany and Spain or Germany and Italy, one of them. In an English team has to win one out of the three competitions to be able to lock up that fifth spot for Champions League.
well,
So
an English team will win it.
it is
Don't put
possible.
all credit away from Liverpool.
Anyways, quick question before we move on though. Out of the two shockers, which shocked you more?
Liverpool. Did I expect Arsenal to lose? I called it. I called it as a football fan, not as a hater.
That's
It is what
fair.
it is.
This is what it is.